It's the weapon that helped make Bruce Lee an iconic film star. And since then, nunchucks have mainly been thought of as a fierce fighting tool. But in the Northern California town of Anderson, police may be helping to change the perception of this ancient martial arts weapon. When you heard that this department was going to start using nunchucks, what do you think?
Well, I was skeptical. I had no experience with the nunchaku myself.
But Sergeant Casey Day, the department's in-house instructor, says he immediately saw the benefits.
Down in the car. No, I'm not. Stop resisting. Down, down, down in the car.
In a series of demonstrations, he shows us how these modern nunchucks can be an effective restraining tool and a replacement for the trusty old baton.
Okay, you're under arrest. No. Don't resist. No. Don't resist.
By applying just the right amount of force. Each pair will cost the department about $100. Advocates say the real advantage in having nunchucks is they essentially give you a couple of tools in one. They allow you to restrain suspects with relative ease, but also give you the ability to strike when necessary.
Its primary use is not a striking tool. It is more of a grappling tool. So you'll see it's used kind of like chopsticks. The two sticks are used, there's a cord in between, and it's used to apply pain. And pain compliance is basically what it is.
Chief Michael Johnson says nunchucks were first used by police departments in the 80s, but believes lawsuits and the growing use of tasers limited their use in law enforcement. From Ferguson to Baltimore, he says the strained relationships between law enforcement and American communities made him consider a new weapon.
It doesn't hurt to add another weapon in your arsenal, which is more compassionate and safer and causes less injury.
The Colorado company that sells the nunchucks has been preaching that for years. Kevin Orcutt, a retired officer, says that at one time, as many as 200 departments in the 1990s used them, but he doesn't have a reliable figure today. He says the courts have upheld their usage and hopes more departments like Anderson will consider them. Citing one example, he believes they could have prevented the controversial death of Eric Garner, the unarmed African-American man who died last summer after a New York police officer put him in a chokehold. He says a trained officer using nunchucks would have gone low for the ankle.
And that would have ended the confrontation, guaranteed. In today's environment, I'll stand this tool up against almost anything.
Up.
Orcutt's program requires that officers get at least 16 hours of training before being allowed to use them. Whether more departments pick them up remains to be seen. For civilians, nunchucks are illegal in California, but for officers here in Anderson, they believe they could make a real difference on the streets.
Why not have that option?
Down, 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 down.
Dan Simon, CNN, Anderson, California.